This is the engine compartment of a 1970 Pontiac GTO, real GTO, with documentation also. We have a bunch of paperwork for this, which we'll show you at the end. But it does have the correct YS 404 barrel motor that this car was produced with. It has power steering, power disc brakes. It has factory air conditioning. Air conditioning. Can you imagine that on the 1970 GTO? Has a newer alternator on it, the correct chrome valve pan covers that came with it, the correct dual snorkel air cleaner. No one has messed with this engine. No one's cammed it up. No one's put headers on it. No one's done anything to this engine. It is as it left the factory. Has a new battery in it, the correct heavy-duty radiator with clutch fan on it, and the correct shroud that also goes with it. It's never been disrupted in any way. The core support is all original and nice as can be. Semi-flat black inner fender panels the way they should be also. Washer bottle and the washer system still integral, hooked up for the windshield washers. No leaks whatsoever on the engine. There are absolutely no leaks off the valve pan covers or intake manifold. I don't see anything at all detrimental on this engine. Dual stage master cylinder has been replaced. You can see it's a newer dual stage master cylinder. The correct style hoses, top and bottom, for the radiator. The heat, let's see for sure. Yeah, the heat is still hooked up for the passenger compartment in the vehicle. So you have air conditioning plus heat if it would go to one of our northern states. Really great looking engine compartment in this vehicle. These engines made lots of torque, lots of horsepower. They were certainly underrated from the factory. This thing still houses its original cast iron intake manifold. Again, no one's done any modifications to it. It's just a nice fresh redo on a Pontiac GTO 1970. Fantastic engine compartment. Let's go around the rest of it. Hi, you're at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida, and today our guest is a 1970 Pontiac GTO, a real GTO with paperwork. This thing happens to be a convertible in a great color combination too. Red, black interior, black top. Fantastic car. Nice running car. We'll go over it and try to point out anything that we see on the vehicle. This is another vehicle I haven't driven yet. I know nothing about, so we're going to go over it together. And anything we find, some of the things we're going to address, and some of them, obviously, we can't. So let's get started. Gap on the hood and fitment to the fender is really nice. I mean, it is spot on this side. Could not be any better. The paint on this vehicle is certainly better than a driver quality paint job. Certainly better than it ever was from the factory. Nice lustrous finish. It's real deep. Has the original scoop type hood on it, dual scoops. The openings are not cut out on this particular vehicle. They left them intact. It is not a Ram Air car. Hood fitment across the front as nice as can be, and down the side the same way. You can see fitment to the fender, just as sweet as you could ever hope for. This nose, if I remember correctly, this is called an elastomeric front bumper. It's a type of a urethane material that does have some resilience to it. So whenever you do bump it, I guess you can call it a rubber bumper, but it does give. It does have some give to it to absorb some of the impact. That's a nice system. It's painted obviously the same color as the car, and it matches flawlessly. A lot of times it's difficult to get the paint to match. This one's spot on. Trim around the headlights. There's no patina. Those two are as nice as you get. Same deal here. Headlight buckets are really, really sweet. The Pontiac grill itself, GTO designation in it, has the argent trim around it, and the anodized aluminum trim around the outer edge, kind of like Mopar does on their vehicles. Never noticed that before. Nice plastic grill, no pieces missing from stones being thrown up through the ears. Same way on this side. A really nice grill area in the car. Let's see. Parking lights in the front are the correct style parking lights. A real classy looking pair of parking lights with some chrome trim around them, and they're clear lenses just the way they should be. The front valance underneath the bumper is absolutely flawless. It does not have any pulls or dents or marks on it whatsoever. So the front end of this car is, the fitment-wise, we can't find a single thing. The paint is certainly much better than a driver quality paint job. It's a really nice, a deep finish red paint on the vehicle. And the fitment is just about as nice as you could ever hope for. Nice front end on this car. Really very attractive, dynamic looking front end that Pontiac put on these vehicles in 1970. Let's try the driver's side. Okay, now the driver's side of our 70 GTO. Front fender, side marker lamp, amber, just the way it should be in the front. Wheel lip molding, no dinghies on it whatsoever. GTO designation on the side of the fender. Look at the way this fits. The door to the fender, to the hood, to the... Look at this. It can't get any better than that. That's really right on the money. Trim around the windshield. No marks, no spots whatsoever on it. Correct wiper arms and blades on this vehicle. Both argent metal, just the way they should be. Where the dashboard transitions to the base of the windshield, it's nice and clean and clear. There is a mark on the top of the dashboard right here that I can see looking down onto it. I have no idea what it is. Possibly whenever somebody was putting an inspection sticker or something through the years, they may have marked it some way, but the rest of the dashboard is perfect. It isn't something that you would replace for a minuscule little mark on the top of the dashboard, top left of the dash. But it's there. Just want you to know that there is a mark there. Correct remote style. Nice mirror, no patina whatsoever on it, which would be correct for a 1970 model year. Absolute brand new convertible top with all new liners, all new cables, and all new pads. We just had this top installed on the vehicle. The other one was a little questionable. It was passable, but not the quality of the rest of the car. So we just installed a new, and I mean new, a week ago, convertible top on this. And you can see Dale, the guy that does this for us, is absolutely the world's best at it. There's not a ripple or anything in this vehicle anywhere. Spot on. Tinted glass in the front, sunshade fade on top of the windshield, wipes, whiskers, absolutely as nice as you would ever hope to get. Tinted glass on the sides. Look at this window fitment. Look at this. For a convertible top, this is just exemplary. You just don't find windows that seal up against the top as well as this one does. Door handle has no patina. It is absolutely as new condition. Let's go see if I feel any dinghies or remarks in this. A lot of times you can't see a mark or a dent or something, but if you run your hands over it, you can feel it, and that's why I do that. Look at the fit of this door. Gap in the front, gap in the back, plus the way it fits up to the rest of the body. Really fantastic. Trim around the base of the convertible top. There's no marks whatsoever on this side. Glass window too, by the way. You don't have to put up with the plastic folding and everything. This one does have a glass window in it. Wheel loop molding. Same as the front one. No dents whatsoever in it. None. Oh, and all tin. Never noticed that before. There's no side marker light on the body because they incorporated it into the wraparound brake lights in the back. Kind of a neat idea. 14-inch road wheels on this Pontiac. PMD wheels with the correct centers in them and the correct lug nuts that go along with it. A set of white letter tires that help accentuate the wheels a little bit. Rally 2. Pretty much everyone's favorite choice on Pontiac is a Rally 2 wheel. Does have rocker panel molding, and I don't see any kicks from anyone's heels or marks or anything on it. Still just as nice as it was when it was new. And it does appear to be the original molding also. Really nice driver's side of the vehicle. I don't see anything out of place, no dents, no marks that I could feel, no door dents. The paint is, like I said, much better than driver quality. Nice driver's side. Let's look out back, see what we can find for you there. Okay, the rear section of our 70 GTO convertible. Look at the gap and the fitment of this. This is totally amazing. Full way around it. And again, the paint is just laid on this car like glass. It can't be any nicer or any smoother than it is. It's an absolute fantastic paint job on this thing. GTO designation on the deck lid. Chrome on the bumper, and I believe this is the original bumper too. I don't believe this bumper's ever been replaced. There's no scratch marks or anything whatsoever on it. Nice clear tail light assemblies in it with the backup light. Same on this side, no cracks or anything in it. Rear valance, let me see, bumper fitment. It's spot on. It can't not fit any better than it does there. That is right on the money. The rear valance, no pull marks, no dents, no issues whatsoever with it. It has the correct style quad exhaust out the back, 2 on each side, stainless splitters that Pontiac used in 1970 on these vehicles with the correct cutouts in the rear valance to house them. Nice rear section of this car. You will not find a nicer, straighter, better fitting section than the back end of this GTO. We have one more side to go yet. Okay, passenger side, our last side. Tim. Boy, the paint on this car is really nice. Okay, trim around the base of the convertible top and the rear. Wheel lip molding, just as nice. There's a little bit of a bulge right here for some reason. I don't know why that's there, but it was just the way the thing was fit on there. The body panel is straight, but the molding itself comes out a little bit. I think they missed whenever they drilled the hole. It should have been in just a hair more. Anyway, we'll take a look at that, see if we can address that somehow. Look at the top on this thing. Dale, the guy that does our upholstery for us and our convertible tops, is an absolute artist. When you find someone that can put a top on like this, to this degree of perfection, there are no folds, no wrinkles, absolutely nothing. It looks like the thing's painted on there. Really a great job putting that on for us. Door here, look at this, same way. Wow. White whiskers. Absolutely brand new, just like it was on the other side. Look at the window again. Door handle, chrome is flawless. I still haven't seen a chip, a mark, definitely no dents. I've run my hands about every inch of this car so far and I haven't found a dent or door dent deviation whatsoever. Absolutely none. Zero. Someone's put a Chevrolet aftermarket mirror on this side, probably because no one makes a mirror to match that remote adjust mirror for the driver's door. It's a pretty thick, heavy one. We might have to check to see, because if they do make one, I'm going to replace that guy with one that'll match that. But if they don't, you still have a mirror on this side. Look at this. This is totally, totally amazing. Look in the video. See the gaps on the doors, front and back, and the fitment, which you can't see, but I'm running my hands over it, and there's no overhang. It's right on the money. And same as, look. It's just totally amazing on this thing. Trim around the front window. Same as the other side. No dents or dinghies whatsoever. Absolutely none. GTO designation. Another wheel lip. Side marker lamp. And I didn't mention the bumper fitment in the front because these elastomeric bumpers fit to the body of the vehicle. And there's no way that you can misfit them. They bolt on just the way they're supposed to, and there's no gap or anything. It fits precisely to the front fenders of the vehicle. That's it. You just watched us go over this. Devin and I just went over the entire vehicle for you. Pointed out Dale's work on the top. He did an exemplary job on putting that top on for us. Brand new top. Tinted glass all around. 404 barrel. Steering, brakes, and factory air. Little heel dent right here on this rocker panel. Just noticed that right now. When I was seeing it, I saw a reflection, and there is a little dent right there. Looks like it might be a heel dent, but I don't know how it could be a heel dent that far forward. But there's a mark there. We tried to show you every little imperfection that we could, and there were very few on this vehicle. The Pontiac GTO in 1970 was a little heavier car. It was a very luxurious car. They were kind of winding down at that point in time, 70, 71, 72. The performance was still there. The engine options were still there, and actually they added to them in 70. But the car itself just weighed a little bit more, but it compensated for it for the luxury that you got. Nice thicker seats, a little bit wider, quieter interior, more insulation in the vehicle. A great looking vehicle, big rubber bumper in the front of it. Just had a lot of look to it. Rally 2 wheels. It just had that same GTO flair that it had from 1964 whenever they first came out with it, but with a lot of luxury items added to it. It's a fantastic looking vehicle, and it has paperwork with it, which we're going to show you at the end of this presentation. This car is available here at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida, where we're at right now. We just did the video. And we encourage everybody to come down and take a look at all of our vehicles. Not just this one, but all of them. We got about 80 of them on the floor for you to look at. And we also just opened expanded actually a boutique so that you'll be able to buy t-shirts and memorabilia and all kind of neat little items that we have on display here. So it's a good time for you to come down and take a look, walk around, look at all the vehicles. If you're interested in this Pontiac GTO, give me a call. I can tell you anything you want to know about the car, anything. And we can see if we can put something together for you. Okay, this is the interior of our 1970 Pontiac GTO convertible. Neat, pretty car, let me tell you. Everything in here is just the way it was in 1970 when it left the factory. Absolutely everything. The original sun visors are still nice and resilient and padded just the way they were. No stitching coming loose whatsoever. This top is new. Everything. New pads, new cables. The framework itself has been redone and painted the way it should be in a semi-flat black paint. The dashboard itself is just as sweet as you'd ever hope to find. There's this one little tiny mark that you can see. You can hardly feel it, but I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, you're not going to fix it. The gauge cluster is nice and crystal clear. It does have a speedometer. It has a tachometer. It has some idiot lights and a fuel gauge here, the way they came. It does not have the Rally instrumentation in it. Has the original equipment Pontiac radio still in it, and the original housing and controls for your air conditioning and heat and everything, and the correct style vents from Pontiac in 1970 also. Steering wheel center part is nice and resilient yet, with a horn that works. The steering wheel itself has no cracks. Usually, especially black wheels, you'll find that they have cracks, separations from shrinkage through the years. This one has absolutely none, as it was when it was new. Turn signal nice and tight the way it should be. Remote control mirror that we discussed. Door panels, you can see GTO designation on them. They're the original style door panels. They are the original door panels. Power windows. How about that? You got power windows in this guy. It has a, let me see what we got here. It has power top. It has stainless trim around the brake pedal, the gas pedal, and the parking brake cable, which is functional in this car too, by the way. The interior of this car still houses its original molded headrests that came from Pontiac in this vehicle. They're really hard to find. They make covers for them and they're stitched. They don't look right. These are the original molded ones that came with the car. Very expensive to replace. It has the basket weave type insert material for the seat area, front and rear. Seat belts in the rear, seat belts in the front, and the correct GM style seat belts also. It has armrests in the back, trash trays in the back. Let's see, we got a trash tray up front here too. Your window cranks, what am I saying, window cranks? Window switches, actuators in the rear are nice and chrome, shiny, just the way they should be, to match the ones in the front. Does have a console. Wood on the console and the wood on the dash is just as fresh looking as could possibly be. It's not peeling back on the edges or anything like it's common for these things to do. This one is not. It's just as nice and clean and straight as can possibly be. And I believe Pontiac did use real wood back then. It was a veneer that they put on aluminum backing that would stick onto the dash area or console area. It has the correct wood Pontiac ball on it. It has a nice big glove compartment right in the center console, and You got a huge glove compartment in the dash. Loop pile carpeting, just the way it should be from the factory. The original style molded armrests on each door are still nice and resilient and original. The door handles themselves, the actuators to open the doors, are just as fresh and clean. There's no patina whatsoever on them, and they're still nice and tight also. All new rubbers on this car, all new seals and rubbers, so there's not an issue with water leakage on a convertible, not with this guy anyway. It's a great Pontiac GTO. It's been refurbished to the point of being new again. It's a great running car. It looks good. It drives good. The interior is absolutely as it was in 1970 when it left the factory, and so is the outside. This is a great find. If you're in the market for a GTO convertible, this could be your guy. Take a look at it. It's at Hanksters in Daytona, Florida. Okay, we are in our 1970 Pontiac GTO convertible. Really a neat car. It has, let's see, horn that works just fine. It has wipers, just beating themselves to death out there. Turn signal left, functioning as it should. Turn signal right, doing the same deal, just like it should. Fuel showing us a little bit under a half, between a quarter and a half a tank, which is a lot for us actually. We can't ship them with over a quarter of a tank of gas in it. Shippers will not accept them. The air is on. We have to have the air on today because I think it's up to about 150 out here right now, and it's going to be about 180 this afternoon. So that's why we're going to try to get this video done before it gets any hotter out here. Radio does not work. Radio doesn't work. Remote control mirror does work. It works just like it should. So we got everything working except the radio in here. Turn signals, all our gauges are functioning as they should. Power top. You can hear it go. Okay, power top works. My window, power window here on this side. Let's see, that's Devin's window. You can't see it going up and down, but it definitely functions. It goes up and down just like it should. My left rear goes down and back up, and Devin's goes down and back up. You can hear it behind him there. So all the power windows function as they should on it also. So before any more traffic comes here, we're going to take them off here. Car tracks down the road, nice. And anywhere you're aiming, it goes straight as an arrow. No hands. Let's see how it stops with no hands. Straight as an arrow, no hands. Nice tight driving car, real positive steering. There's no plane of steering whatsoever. It is tight, no rattles or shakes or squeaks or anything in it. Absolutely none. It's a nice driving car. It's got a brand spanking new top on it, just as tight as a drum. There's no flapping, no wind noise whatsoever. When Dale does these tops, he does an exemplary job on them. And there's absolutely no noise from the wind whatsoever on this top, none. That's 70. Gonna watch, there's a lot of traffic today, and can't afford to get caught again. Nice running car though, very, very tight, goes down the road straight as an arrow, you aim it where you want. Don't have to worry about holding on to the steering wheel if you're going in a straight line. A lot of straight lines down here in Florida. It is a correct YS motor. It's also a serial number correct to the engine. Engine serial numbers to the car serial numbers. It is the correct motor that this car was born with. Very nice originality here. And let's see what it shows. shows that there's 85,000 miles on it, and if I remember correctly, looking at the title, it showed actual miles on it. So it's a pretty nice straight original car. You know, underneath it, it's had a repaint, very nice repaint, as a matter of fact, and a new top on it. Interior is the original interior to the car. It does not need replaced. It is as new. It's a nice straight car. This is the undercarriage of our 1970 Pontiac GTO convertible. Really neat car. Very heavy duty sway bar in the front. It looks as though it does have a new pitman arm on it and a new idler arm on it. There's no leaks on the engine whatsoever. Rear main is just fine. Also no leakage in the front. There's no housing over there's no pan housing over the torque converter and flex plate on this vehicle. Most of the vehicles from the south, they leave those off just so that it gets a little bit of air to help cool that transmission fluid. The converter needs to stay as cool as it can, and this is a way to help alleviate some of that heat that these things generate just from usage. Original equipment style starter on it. It has newer style shocks in the front. Standard cast iron exhaust manifolds going into a 2 1/8 inch system. The pipes are as new condition. They're not deteriorated at all. It has a turbo tranny in it. New oil filter on it. I know we just changed oil in it. The drop downs in the front fenders, no one's made any attempt to jack it up on those through the years. Let's see what else we got. New tie rod ends on it. Yep, tie rod ends are new. The frame itself is a full box frame they used, a full perimeter full box frame on these vehicles, the convertibles. The hardtops used a C channel through the center section. These did not. The convertibles used a full box. And the frame itself is real nice. They're structurally very sound, and there's no jack marks whatsoever evident on either side, at least this far back anyway. No leaks around the speedometer or the tail shaft of the transmission. Functional parking brake assembly still intact and still original. The brake line's also original yet, and also the fuel line. So you have a lot of originality under here. The floor pans themselves and the structural pieces that brace them for the convertible, just excellent condition. They're not perforated in any way that we can see. No, none. There's absolutely no perforations, and it is the original floor pans on the vehicle from what I can tell. I don't see anywhere where anything has been addressed through the years. Still has original factory undercoating in place and spots on it. It has also no leaks in the transmission itself. New U-joint in the back of the drive shaft, a couple of cherry bomb style mufflers on it, giving a real nice deep rumble, a real nice deep tone. And I did mention the functional parking brake. It has the heavy duty Pontiac suspension in it, the F41. I don't know what Pontiac calls it, but that's what Chevy calls it, with the sway bar and the box swing arms also. The way that Chevy does on their big blocks, 70 on them. Really nice back end on the vehicle. You can see the frame itself is just as solid and nice and fresh as can be. And again, the floor pans are really nice on this car. If you look, they're pretty much undisrupted. Heavy duty Pontiac 10-bolt rear end. This is a serious rear end of these vehicles that they used. I've never heard of anyone tearing one up. They seem like they took a lot of abuse. Original gas tank has not been replaced. The framework transitions up over the rear differential is just as nice as it was in the front and in its entirety. The whole way to the back, the frame is just totally undisrupted. There's no scale or anything on it. It's pretty nice condition. The structural piece that joins the two frame ends together in the back. There's no pull marks on it from someone hooking a chain or anything through the years. Back pan itself is just totally undisrupted. It's very nice condition. Looks like a nice car underneath. Drum brakes in the back of this thing. They are fin drums. In the front, they're rotors. They are new rotors and new calipers on them also. So it's got a nice fresh brake system up front. As far as disc goes in the front, drums in the rear. It's a pretty solid car underneath here. It's structurally, it's a very nice, strong car. I don't see anything on the floor pans themselves. or the frame anywhere that it's been disrupted through the years. Take a look at it. Hanksters, Daytona Beach.